What was it that actually like got you guys into martial arts?
Yeah, we didn't have a choice. So my mom was going to night college, and then she was working full time during the day. So like
wow.
when she was going to night college, in her college, it's called Alverno College. It's it was all female college. I think they mixed it up now, but they had a Taekwondo program. So we would spend every day after school, 4 o'clock to like 9 o'clock doing Taekwondo. I hated it. It was like the worst thing ever. So I would learn it, and I would teach it, and then we would do our sparring. It was just a long process every day, and then. For me, it was the business side that I was interested in. I saw my Taekwondo instructor run his gym, run his school, how the life that he lived, how he did it, and I was inspired by that. So I opened my first gym up with my older brother. So like 16, I was running a pretty successful Taekwondo school in Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin, and then that's when the UFC was like blowing up crazy big. We're like, man, if we want to stay in business, we got to obviously learn jiu-jitsu and kickboxing. And then I was the younger brother, so they sent me out to go. Well, he sent me out to go learn kickboxing and jiu-jitsu from Duke Rufus. So at that time, Duke's gym was like the best place in Milwaukee to learn kickboxing and jiu-jitsu. Yeah. So I go sign up there, and I just fall in love, man. Like it was just like a whole new world for me. And like I was trying to show I showed my older brother. He started fighting kickboxing. I showed Serge, because we were really Serge was a world champion Taekwondo. So like we were very successful in Taekwondo. And then once we found this two other sports, kickboxing and jiu-jitsu, and then he wrestled in high school. So it was just like I kind of found us at the right time. And then right before that, I lost my dad. So like my dad was killed in a house robbery across the street from our house. So it was like one of the devastating things in my life that I kind of had to make a decision, and I found MMA at the perfect time, man. So it kind of it saved me for real.
That's great. And they went into detail a little bit about that on the show, right? World of Jinx, I remember.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I mean, just to compare, it's weird that we kind of had similar backgrounds because I lost my father at a young age as well, and then I also started in Taekwondo. I just didn't like the forums and the other stuff. I just wanted to spar all the time. I enjoyed the sparring, but I didn't want to do the forums and learn all that stuff. And so I just sparred until I finally moved on to kickboxing and then eventually MMA.
Dang, man, that's crazy. Same path, pretty much, man. So we got tired of I was tired of losing the guys I was better than. I'm like, dude, I can beat these guys in a real fight. And they're just barely touching me in a back fist, and I'm losing. I'm like, man, no, I ain't. Then that's what made me switch over.
Was it a tough transition when you got into kickboxing or MMA from keeping your hands so low and being so flashy? I mean, obviously you carried on the flashiness very well and transitioned it very well into MMA. But for me, I had my hands so low. When I was in Taekwondo, it was always my hands were down here, and I was throwing these high kicks. And then I just started getting just bashed up when I started boxing and kickboxing. And I was like, shit, man, I got to put my hands up. They should have taught me that in Taekwondo. I don't know. Was it the same for you?
So it helped me out. My cousin was a boxer. He did pro boxing, and then Milwaukee's there's some pretty good boxers here. It's a pretty big deal here in Milwaukee and the Hispanic community. So I boxed. I was learning boxing at a young age too. So I had the traditional defense, for street fighting and how I need to fight. Yeah. Then I have my flashy style. So that's how I kind of keep it the same way. When I'm in the fire, I got my traditional. And when I'm longer and I have my range, that's when you see my flashy style.
And then at what point were y'all, because you were a Taekwondo champion, you were in Taekwondo as well, and then eventually you transition, I can't talk, into MMA. At what point was it when you realized you wanted to be a pro in MMA and that you had the skills to do so, and this was going to be your thing to do as far as as a career?
Yeah, I went pro quick. I went to the gym to initially learn to teach kickboxing and jiu-jitsu to my students. So I was training all day, and then I would teach class at night at my gym. So I would learn everything at Duke's gym, and then at nighttime I'd go teach my 2 classes, jiu-jitsu and kickboxing. So I was having to learn this information and understand it so I could go teach it to my guys and not sound stupid. So it was an extra process where it happened really fast, and I learned it really quick. And then I think it was 3 months into training that I had my first fight, and I finished it in 24 seconds.
Wow!
It was it was quick knockout. Everybody loved it. And then I followed up the next one. It was 31 seconds. And the next one was everything was under a minute. My first 3 fights were under a minute. I'm like, man, we got to go pro. And this all happened in the first year of me training at Duke's gym. And then we went pro. I had 3-4 pro fights. And I fought Rob Roy, Sharon Leggett. He was on the Tap Out show.
Yeah.
I beat him in Milwaukee here to win the title. And then I got the WEC call. And I got that belt in 2 years. So it was quick. And then UFC belt I got in 2 years too. So it was a quick transition for me for all these things, man.